A couple of quick announcements. So we're having a retreat next Friday. So no Kundalini support group, but please come to the retreat. Retreat is a wonderful time. If you're struggling with the energy, if the energy is too much, if you have issues or some blockages within the system, retreat is a wonderful opportunity where oftentimes we're met with this grace and this transmission, and often blockages miraculously disappear or dissolve, where God lifts us to the next level, or through you showing up, you step onto or into the next level of your being. It's an opportunity to awaken to your highest nature, to experience Buddha nature, and to know that as your own self. I cannot emphasize enough how beneficial retreat has been for me on my spiritual path. So please, this is in no way a sales pitch. The retreat for you is it's just as much for me as well. It's where God just floods me with this energy and this light, and it's so utterly healing. Now, sometimes I can say it can be intense and overwhelming, but oftentimes the intensity of the retreat itself brings you to a new place and helps you discover these places of strength and Buddha nature that perhaps previously were unknown to you. Okay, so please join us for that starting next Friday. I think it's pretty affordable, the retreat, and everything will be recorded. And so the sessions will be available for viewing in the future if you do not, if the time zones don't work for you. Okay. As of now, a lot of emails said, hey, Craig, are you keeping the time of the group the same and all that kind of stuff? Keeping everything the same for the next little bit. And for those of you who don't know, I recently moved out of Colorado for health reasons. And now I'm over in the South, in South Carolina. So I'm in a new time zone. I'm going to keep everything consistent for the next little bit. All right, that was a lot of announcements. So let's do this. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and just begin to arrive here fully. And one of the things I would like to speak about today, invite you to reflect on, is how Kundalini has been disruptive in your life. And I invite you to feel your breath deepen and open, and allow your consciousness to become more spacious. I'm inviting you into this paradox of transformation. Where you're connecting more fully to the love of your heart, the strength of Buddha nature, and the vast, spacious freedom of your consciousness. And so this is true nature. But sometimes, often with the path of Kundalini, Kundalini brings a massive force of transformation. And so transformation comes into our life often and pulls the carpet out from under us. And it literally, transformation often will kill or destroy different aspects of our life. And I hope that it's not too dramatic, but many of you know what I'm speaking about. Perhaps Kundalini took your career. Perhaps it took your home. Perhaps it took a relationship. Perhaps it just took old aspects of self or being where we were fighting with life or struggling. Or maybe it took our addiction to a substance or a drug or alcohol or something like that. And when we hold this context, which is spacious which is loving and which is strong. We smile at the transformative nature of Kundalini. We say, yes, this is good. I have faith in God. And I want you to feel into that. If this is true, what I'm saying, that you have faith in God and faith in God's plan, faith in what is happening, or if there's part of you that's still upset, and it's okay to be upset. If you are upset, or grieving, or struggling, I encourage you to allow that grief to flow, to release, to empty out of you into the spaciousness that's here, into the space of love that's here, into and be held by this quiet strength that's here. So knowing and trusting that life will not give you anything that your soul cannot handle, that your presence cannot handle. I invite you to take a deep breath and acknowledge that your ego or your humanity will say, no, as Kundalini has given me lots of things that I can't handle. And that's true. There's many things that your humanity, that your ego cannot handle, but that your soul will outlive and therefore can handle. Your soul will come into alignment with. And this is today's teaching, is for you to align with your soul. This deeper part of being, which outlives and rises to the occasion. The thing that is transformed by grace, in grace, as grace. And I invite you to feel into this part of you, to step into it, to join me in this space. Honoring your soul. Honoring the fact that your soul is big enough, is strong enough, is bright enough, is spacious enough to live the truth, to be the truth, to walk this path. And so from the perspective of the soul, we're getting more and more rooted here. And because your soul, and because you have a heart, we're inviting our heart to embrace the parts of us that cannot handle the transformation, that cannot deal with it, that say this is too much. So the soul, the heart, Buddha nature, your spacious Nondual nature are embracing the human. The part of you that says, I've had enough of this. And just holding space here. You loving you, you supporting you. And I invite you even to ask your humanity, what do you need? How can I help you and love you more fully? How can I make this process more compassionate? And so I invite you to listen to the parts of you that have had enough of this Kundalini name, who's had enough of God's plan, who's had enough. And can you soften there? Can you open further in the belly and the pelvis? Can you hold your heart and breathe love into the part of you that's been fried, that feels broken, feels beat up. It says, I hate this. I hate this thing, this path, this life, this Kundalini, this energy. Maybe it just says, just a quiet no. And can you breathe and deepen and soften? Anywhere in the body, anywhere in the nervous system, anywhere in the consciousness, where there's a no. Where there's a no. And so with each and every breath, we're softening and we're opening. And we're arriving here fully. Arriving here fully. And so you're welcome to open your eyes if you like. Or you can keep them shut and continue to breathe. It's totally up to you. But most of us, the reason we're here in this group is because Kundalini has not been the most smooth ride for us ever. It's been a highly transformative experience. Now, for some of us, this path started with lots of bliss and freedom, like a spontaneous awakening. And we're saying, oh, wow, this is wonderful. I am now enlightened. All my problems are gone. Everything is perfect. And sometimes that's how the path starts for us. For others of us, sometimes the path starts with, intense energy flowing through the body or the spine, or attempting to flow through the body and the spine, and there being immense resistance. And one of the things that we begin to learn with Kundalini awakening specifically is the path is not just this trajectory of where we're just opening and it's just more and more layers of freedom and heaven realms. That oftentimes the path is not like that. It's we open and then we're thrown back into hell, or we're thrown back into unconscious aspects of our human self. And the path is more schizophrenic or bipolar. It's all over the place. Some of the emails I receive that are the most, or the people feel the most traumatized, are the ones who started off waking up for no reason to absolute bliss. And then one day, for no reason, all the bliss and freedom going away. And then they begin to experience existential turmoil or fear or dread. It's important to step way back from how we are feeling. And to really, ask, what is God trying to show me here? What is God trying to show me? So when we're in bliss, God is trying to show you your blissful nature. When we're in spaciousness, God is showing us our spacious nature. When we're in the strength and indestructibility of Buddha nature, God is showing us this. But when we plummet into hell, often the ego judges that experience and says, I must be doing something wrong, or God is punishing me. And we go into these ideas about wrong or judgment, or we're being punished, or life not being fair, and feeling victimized, or this and that. And it's important to remember, God is not here to make you a victim, and God is certainly not here to punish you. There's other things God can do than punish us. But it is true, life is not fair. And it is true that the path is confusing to the human self. But that doesn't make it bad or wrong, and that doesn't make us bad or wrong. This path is confusing because the human being is not in charge. And as human beings, we've lived under this illusion that I am in charge of my own life. And sometimes God has to take us into hell, or God has to show us these like mood swings of our being or of the path to show you, not that you're bad or wrong, but show you you're not in charge, or to show you that there's something unconscious within you that needs to be healed, or to show you how big your heart is, that your heart is actually able to face, or heal, or embrace anything and everything. Most of us did not come into this world knowing the unconditional, loving nature of our presence. Most of us think of ourselves as conditioned, and that we have a limit. And again, it's absolutely true that the human self has a limit. But God is wanting to show you that your divine self has no limit. No limit. And yeah, that's confusing. It's a confusing thing when God makes you a divine being and then gives you a human body, and we incarnate and we believe in the body. We believe what it's teaching us. We believe that our nervous system is the ultimate reality, versus knowing that our divine nature is the ultimate reality. And see, this is the challenge with Kundalini, is it's inviting you to see what the truth is. And in order for you to adequately see this, it has to take you through this transformative process where the human self, through the cycle of purification, where the human self is brought into radical alignment with the higher self. And for most of us, that is not a pleasant ride. Normally, it's a lot of screaming and heeing and hawing and resistance and pain and confusion and distortion and, all these things where the ego is saying, what is this? Why is this happening to me? I don't like this. I don't understand it. Whereas what God is wanting you to do is to step way back out of the one who feels as if they're victimized. God wants you to step way back into the one who simply sees, who simply witnesses, and to discover that there's a presence here beyond the human egoic nervous system. And that this presence is as big as the sky, is as deep as the ocean, is as solid as the earth, and as empty as the universe. And to know that your presence is as solid as the earth and as empty as the universe, well, God has to pull the carpet out from under you 1,000 times before you realize, oh, this life, this world, this current drama in front of me cannot, will not harm me, cannot, will not destroy my nature, cannot, will not touch me, for I am the essence of life itself. So this is a big thing which God is taking you through. You may all think, well, I'm just a normal human being. Why is this happening? Because you're not a normal human being. Because you're a divine being who's wearing the clothes of a human. You're a divine being who's wearing the clothes of a human. And so I do hope all of you can join us on retreat next week. You know, a lot of people last time on the last retreat said, oh, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it, or the energy was going to be too much, and this and that. And almost everyone by the end of the retreat were so thankful they came. We're amazed by what had happened during this retreat. And so I encourage you, if you can, please come. Please come. Oh, God has something great in store for you, for all of us. Okay.